Hello. So the fans are going. Hopefully you can hear me all right. This pick a card is going to be the nature of your challenge and advice for handling it. So the nature of your challenge, or one of your challenges, your current challenges, and the advice for handling it. And these are your picks. We're going to have pick 1, pick 2, and pick 3. You'll have to excuse my hands. I have just opened my tie-dyes that I made at a party yesterday. And here's my evidence. Okay, so you're going to use your own intuition to decide if one of these picks has some messages for you. The cards are all laid out behind these. And I'm going to pick a few blocks from my block oracle. So pick 1, pick 2, pick 3. Let me just move these ones out of the way. And we'll get started with pick 1. Okay, the nature of your challenge. Okay, so this is discussing some fear energy. We mentioned the stars here, which makes me think of astrology and confusion. And what comes to mind initially is perhaps you got an astrology reading or saw something astrologically that put you in fear and caused confusion for you. Like maybe you had a reading from someone or something someone told you in an astrology group or something like that. Something prickly, perhaps, something that was hard to swallow. Something that you couldn't take into the level that it would require to see it for what it is. It caused confusion instead. Let's see, the nature of the challenge. The nature of the challenge. See, these were this way. We're going to do it like this. A fond memory, patriarch. Something is kind of stepping out of the box for you. And you liked it better in the box, perhaps. It's causing a challenge because it's no longer in the box. And it maybe feels like now you're out of the flow, where you might have been in the flow, allowing your abundance and feeling very abundant, feeling in alignment. This situation has knocked you out of that. There may be some quarrel, some disagreements, a burden, something that feels very heavy. In contrast to how you used to feel about it. I think this thing would require you to let something go, to end something, and I don't think that you feel good about the ending of it. Okay, yeah. Okay, so basically what's been happening is we've been evolving out of our astrology charts. Our astrology charts show us our soul's intentions, and we had a lot of, patterns to live out and complete in this incarnation. And humanity has been moving forward, moving forward, moving forward. And perhaps there's not a lot of time to finish all the things that the soul set out to finish with everything that's been going on. The momentum has now built up to a point and degree that not everything is going to be handled, how we thought it would be handled. So some things, may be sped along, and some things will have to be let go of. Maybe you're letting go of something so you can move along to something else. This is causing confusion because this was part of your path. And maybe you were feeling very good about your path and you knew where to go, and maybe that was based on your astrological chart or some prediction that you had about the bigger picture. And this is causing confusion because maybe you'd need to check in with your soul directly without the chart in order to confirm the new plan. Okay? Getting lots and lots of downloads and chills as I say this, so I feel pretty strongly that this is the case. Okay, do we need some blocks on this? Yeah, any clues in our astrology blocks here? This has to do with the support, maybe a love match, with your love of learning and being together, with taking things seriously, something that was held in secret, and maybe the fact that you knew this was because you had been inquiring, and you liked it when things were simple, and now this has kind of put a stick in the spokes, so to speak. Okay. So it's understandable that this would be upsetting when you have a certain plan for your soul, you know about it, you're well informed, and then something changes, and this is because things are changing really fast on a bigger level right now. Okay. So let's just... I realize these are probably off screen, but maybe I can put them right here. Serious inquiry and learn support. So yeah, maybe this new challenge is to learn how to support yourself through this new thing, which you're going to have an inquiry into your own soul's intentions to figure this out now. There's just some renegotiating happening, okay? And so here's the advices. Okay, let's do the advices. The first advice is from the Hermes deck that I have made. This is Cirrus. It's unconditional love. It's you know, whatever the condition is, Cirrus is able to unconditionally love. Ask for something with a reason. Okay, so meaning set the intention. What was your actual intention on achieving this? And then can you ask for that to be achieved another way, right? Is there some experience that you can have that will simulate or, you know, acclimate your soul to what it needed to learn? And boy, I made this deck a while ago. I don't even remember what TPO means. What the actual heck? TPO, okay, we got mentalism, and correspondence. These are the laws of the universe. So look up Hermetism, and see what these laws of the universe are. You know, these are going to help you achieve what you need to out of the situation that you're not going to get to live out the way you wanted to or expected to. And know that there's a wild card. Nothing's set in stone. Nothing is set in stone. Even when you figure out this portion, nothing is set in stone. So this is why we're unconditionally loving what is, no matter what it is. You know, sometimes we are disappointed. Can we honor, accept, and unconditionally love the part of ourselves who is disappointed? These are from the custom advice oracle. And this is the energy of the Fool. So the Fool goes into something without knowing, steps into the unknown with nothing telling it that it can't, and nothing stopping it, able to go where others won't go, say what others won't say. You know, you've just stepped into a new mission in a way. Yeah. A new part of your soul plan. So you're looking for the higher meaning in the whole situation. The thing that you expected to do, look for the higher meaning in it. Okay? What's the reason that you wanted to do this? And is there another way now that you can achieve it? Through letting yourself be the Fool. Failure is part of success. So rolling with the punches, you know, there's something to be said about that. Even when things are prickly, right? Look at this cactus is winking at you. It's like, it's like it kind of knows that, sure, you're not going to be on the path that you thought you were on, but everything's going to be all right, you know? It might feel a little prickly now, but we're going to get there. There's a plan. And these two cards are the essence of animal spirit totems that you can keep with you to help you. And this is the elephant: honor, empathy, responsibility, and cooperation. So just think about a tribe of elephants, and they have to change their course, and all the parts that go into that. You know, there's moving parts here. It seems like if this is a love situation or something that you love to do, there's others involved in some way. And so honoring those others, having empathy for the situation and for yourself and others, and taking the responsibility, that's your ability to respond in the highest way possible, and cooperating with the universe on its new plan for you. Okay, so, you know, we all have experience with being disappointed, and this is just one of those times. And it doesn't mean that great things are not in store. It just means that there's something greater that's taking more precedence over this soul lesson. And this soul lesson can be absorbed in another way. And then you got the white rhinoceros: stability, confidence, steadiness, and abundance. Okay, so, you know, even though this part of life just got upheaved, you still have stability. You still know what you're doing. You know, you were so confident about this. Now that confidence is going to be applied to this new situation, to steady yourself and recognize the abundant position that you are in. That you don't lose anything by doing this a different way, by taking it in through another method, another means. You know, maybe it's through learning something from somebody else's experience or whatnot. You know, it could be anything like that. Okay? Alright, pick one. Thank you for spending your time with me. I realize that this could be difficult, so I honor you and your path and your willingness to take a look at this and go forward with it. Okay, thank you. See you next time. Hi, pick number 2. We're going to get right into it. What is your challenge? What is your current challenge? So, current challenge that you're facing. We got the card root, wrong, growth, and twin. Interesting. Some sort of root cause, something rooted, either prohibiting growth and connection with a twin, coming into union with self. There's something in there prohibiting growth. Let's get some more cards on this. We've got the essence cards to help us with this. Okay, so there's some sort of the masculine energy in this situation, whether it be from within you or outside of you, is not being a soft, gentle leader. Maybe there's a more forceful presence, and you can't really tell if it's helpful or not. It's like the masculine is not leading. At least if they are leading, it's not in a soft, gentle way. Alright, let's see what else. Marriage, divine union, balance, sunset. I'm putting that right under twin. Okay. So it looks like there's a divine partnership trying to come into earth, into being. There's something with the masculine energy. Let's see. Oh wow, a pair standing tall for a purpose involving keeping order and structure. think the masculine is leading the way in something. Maybe getting some help from outside. Yeah, I'm going to get some blocks to help me get this. What is the challenge? What is the challenge? Like, especially, what is wrong here? Maybe something feels wrong. It doesn't necessarily have to be that it's wrong. Maybe it's accepting that something is not wrong like you think it is. Okay, feather, message, angels. We got Rome. Pluto, which is transformation and crying. Move, and then soul. So maybe this is going to be requiring you to move. Art and bird. Messages through birds are a pretty common thing. Something as annoying when it comes to love. Something around the family. Something around the roots, the family. Okay. And then there's a wild card here. That's interesting. There was a wild card in the first pile too. Yeah. I think this is because there's so much changing right now. We're kind of on a deadline in a way to like finish up all our soul contracts here within the next month and a half. Maybe, yeah, that's kind of pushing it. We've got about a month to finish up our soul contracts, basically. So this wild card is taking that into consideration. So the soft, gentle leader needs to push ahead with more force, I think, than was being used, perhaps. But there's something at... Okay, there's... The growth is requiring a move. The soul's growth is requiring one or both souls to move. But it's guided, it's divinely guided, and involves a transformation which can be upsetting. It feels wrong, but it's not wrong. It's a orchestrated transformation by the universe. Yes, yes. It only feels wrong because of something in the root of, like, the family where you grew up and what their beliefs were. And it could be directly about their beliefs about twins, or twin flames, you know, or twin rays, or their non-belief in it. And you don't even have to use that label, and I kind of love when readers, you know, shy away from using that label because there's so much out there. But it's kind of like when you use the label God. It's like a lot of people can associate whatever they want with that. So it's, you know, it's what it means to you. Use what it means to you, whatever you're comfortable with. And if you're outright comfortable with that label, you know, don't be afraid to use that either. But it seems to me that you're just still through the process of coming together, there'll be a challenge, or there is a challenge around moving and how you feel about that based on your roots. Yeah. And maybe how you even feel about letting the masculine take lead. It's going to require some creativity. And certainly there's going to be some sort of message coming in. Okay, let's look at the advice. First we've got Hermes' advice. Okay, the polarity. Okay, we're balancing out these polarities. So if you don't, okay, so if you're seeing the other counterpart exhibit certain energies, work to balance them in yourself. Wow, another wild card. Another wild card. This is a real emphasis on the unknown in this situation. There's a lot of unknown in this situation, and it's that way for a reason. Guide of the Dead, Hecate. There's some healing going on in this situation. Pluto is, you know, the underworld is where you would Yeah, there's a lot of shadow work being done. There's a lot of, things behind the scenes, things not seen, things orchestrated by the angels. And it's kind of going to unfold in a creative way. So the advice is to slow down. Okay. And rejection is protection. Okay, so if something is not coming together, it's possible that it's not the right time, it's possible that it's not the right match. Yes, it's possible that it's not the right match. Yeah, perhaps you think you're coming into union with somebody specific, but really you're coming into union with yourself. Maybe it's the dead partnership that's being guided out and through. Yeah, so much hidden stuff here, 12th house. So much unknown. And it's urging you to use your ability to respond. Your ability to respond to difficult situations. Your ability to respond to annoying things. Your ability to respond to transformation. Your ability to respond in creative ways. Your ability to respond to the messages that you receive. And these are the essences of from spirit totem animals that you can use to help you navigate this time. And you got the crow, communication, transformation, story, and universal law. So the universal law that we came in contact with here is the polarity. So look up Hermeticism, and study about polarity. Understand that law very well in order to master this situation. But it is a situation that's transforming. It's going from one way of being to another. It's growing. Yes, it's growing with the help and guidance of angels, and it's a lot of unseen stuff, a lot of behind the scenes, a lot of unknown, but you still have the ability to respond to that. And then the blue whale, unity, resonance, magnificence, mastery. Alright, so specifically what came to mind is, how do you feel when I said you were thinking you were going to be matched up with someone, but it was someone else? How do you feel about that? How do you respond to that? Can you master those things within yourself and come into unity within yourself? Did that point something out to you? Rejection is protection. Can you come into union with the parts of yourself that feel anything other than that? Parts of yourself that don't want, that want to feel like a victim to rejection and things like that. And slowing down, take your time to do this, even though things are changing now and things are unknown, and that we do have this time limit to complete our soul contracts. It's not telling you to hurry up, okay? The masculine energy may be feeling like that, and there is some movement to take, but right now you're taking the time to look at some discarded parts in a creative way. Tell a new story. Yeah, that's what that whale is saying. Tell a new story. Oh, the crow talked about stories. The whale is talking about resonance. Yes, come into union with self so that you'll be able to match up with the right connection in your twin or your divine counterpart in the right way, from a higher level, after you've dealt with all the darkness. Maybe not all the darkness, but all the darkness that this situation requires you to deal with, specifically a root belief that came from your family life about what this all is and what it means. And then you got the timber wolf. Instinct, guidance, belonging, and order. You really can trust yourself. Yeah, you really can trust yourself. You are being guided. Make sure you're slowing down to hear it. You know, Hecate, the guide of the dead, is a guide. You know, you're being guided through this transformation. Transformations can be scary and difficult, but you have the ability to respond to this. You know you have the tools. You've done this before. This is just another instance where you're going to need to use those tools. Another thing that you're going to practice through, and you may not know the full reason, the full big picture of why yet. But that's part of it. You know, you're dealing in the 12th house. Illusions, disillusionment. This is a good place to clear karma, and that's what that is. It's just a pattern, a story you've been telling yourself about the way things are, the way things will be, that is now ready to be transformed, alchemized into a higher meaning. Okay? And it definitely has to do with polarity and how to handle that. Yeah, this is a big one. It's like we had that masculine energy, and it's like soft, gentle leader in reverse. So it's something about using masculine energy within yourself that you're gonna learn about through this learning the polarity. Learning more about the polarity. Okay? Okay. Well, thank you for spending your time with me. I hope this is helpful in some way. And I will look forward to seeing you next time. Hi, pick 3. You chose the toucan. And we'll get to your messages. What is the current challenge you are facing? The current challenge you are facing. We got spirit, health, choice, and sailing. Okay. Making healthy choices and flowing. Being in your flow. Your flow state is, that's when you're doing things that you lose track of time, right? So the current challenge is using your free will to make the right choices for your health, for your self-love, for taking care of self, and keeping your vibration high enough to be in that flow of being connected to the divine and hearing the divine. Being in the flow of spirit. Okay. The essence of the challenge. Maybe there's some things that see, this came in reverse. Some things that you haven't been willing to look at, and you're unwilling to know. It's like, I feel like Spirit's been trying to give you a message and let you know about something, and you've kind of blocked it out. And maybe before in your journey it was okay to do that for a while because things were unfolding. But at this point, Spirit is trying to get your attention on this because things have changed a bit. There's more to know, more to discover, more to move on from after this point. So, let's see. A great idea, inspired exchange, paying bills, and kingdom. Spirit is urging you, the challenge is taking control of your life, really. Yes, using your free will to take control of a situation that, okay, by not caring or not listening to this thing, maybe you felt like you were in the flow, right? Like, oh, I'm not going to worry about that. But the choice that you're making doesn't reflect being in the flow. It reflects avoidance. Okay, because this is the challenge. And the challenge is being in flow with Spirit, and I can see how it would be easy to feel like that's what you were doing by not worrying about this. But it's actually that something needs to be addressed. Okay? There is something you will need to know to make this happen for yourself. Something you need to investigate further. And then this came in reverse as well. Maybe you don't know someone as well as you think you do. Maybe there's actually no barrier between you and something that you want. Maybe you put your attention on and appointed yourself to something certain, but that's not what you need to be focused on. Maybe you think you completed something, but it has not yet been completed. Okay? Now, I understand that these things can be hard to hear and triggering. Okay, so just be patient with yourself here through this difficult message. If this is news to you, maybe you've known that something was off. Hopefully you'll be relieved to hear this. Let's look at some blocks to help us understand this. Is there anything else to help us understand this, Spirit? We got art and bird. So bird is a messenger, art is being in the creative flow. That's where you hear spirit, right? So spending some time being creative. You may have had some difficult time with that. You may have gotten a message that you didn't like, so you may have brushed it aside or something. We got numbers, which can be synchronicities, but something doesn't add up. Yeah. And then we got a hug. So being gentle with yourself through this process. Yeah, there's something to understand. There's something more to understand about a decision you're making. And maybe you've taken in the opinions of others and then just like not looked deeper. It's your knowing that you want to follow, yours. And this says wrap and restaurant. So it's like, I mean, this sounds so practical and simple, but like maybe it's like what you're eating, the choice that you're making to eat. Like maybe you think it's like a wrap that's healthy for you or something, but it's not. Something like that. Or wrap up this situation where you're not making the right choices at restaurants so that you... Oh, this is something, yeah. So at a point in my past where I was, you know, making choices for my own health, to eat in a certain way, I was seeing a guy who would he would want to go to restaurants a lot. That was, you know, the fun thing that we did as a social, I guess dating, you would call it, right? That was what we would do for dates. And because I didn't want to miss out on those dates, I would go to these restaurants, but oftentimes I found myself not having an option, you know, that was healthy enough to keep me to my own standard. And so I ended up compromising my health in some ways in order to keep up that lifestyle. And that just came to mind here. You know, and I eventually had to wrap that up. Yeah, some choice about a restaurant, some choice about health and how it pertains to the way you're eating, perhaps. There's more to understand, okay? Spending some time being creative will help get into the flow of things. Noticing synchronicities is important. Something doesn't add up. Okay. What's the advice? The first advice we're going to get is from Hermes, the Hermes deck. Roads and doorways. So there's another path you can take. Perhaps that's why they want you to investigate. The road to your kingdom, the doorway to your kingdom is open once you look for it, like once you make the choice to take it. It'll be an inspired thing. So the way you find it is getting into the flow. you know, so art, creativity, whatever you do where you can lose track of time, that's what you want to spend some time doing to get into this flow. Interesting. So as part of the advice, we got bribery. Is there a negotiation that you can make in a situation with yourself? Like, can it be with yourself, right? Like, okay, self, like, you really love cake. You can have, we'll buy this cake, but instead of eating it all at once or over the days that it's fresh, we'll freeze it. And you can have one piece per every 2 weeks or once a month, you know, or once a week or whatever it is that feels, you know, like just, you know, bribery seems like such a low vibration, so there's something about it that hits me a little bit uncomfortable. But Hermes is giving us advice, and Hermes, the benefit of having Hermes advice is Hermes can travel into the dark. Hermes is the messenger between heaven and hell, the dark and the light, the shadow and the bright. So there's something about negotiating with a part of you that won't quite get on board. Yes, with the moving forward through this. Like, part of you is still invested in an old lifestyle or something, in something it enjoys that is not beneficial to to you overall at this point. Yeah. Messenger is another piece of advice from Hermes. So take the messages when they're coming to you, like especially messages through numbers, the inspired thoughts that you have, the great ideas. An exchange here is here. So, you know, messages could come through exchanging with others, either in thought or a conversation. Then we got wealth, good commerce, fortune, fertility, and thievery. Very interesting. Wealth. Take these things into consideration. This is the advice from Hermes. Look at your wealth. Look at what good commerce is. Oh, I think I got it. Fortune and fertility. Fortune, fertility. Like, what are you growing? And thievery. Is there a sacrifice that you're making? Are you taking from somewhere that you shouldn't be taking from? Are you borrowing from Peter to pay Paul, you know, within your own self? You know what I mean? And, oh, I just lost what I was going to say about this. Let me see if it'll come back. Ah, yes. Okay, it's where and how can you create the win-win-win in all of these energies? These are the places where you could be getting caught up. It's old ways of relating. And it doesn't mean that you can't value or place these things how you want in your own value system. But is there a way to operate and negotiate and utilize these things in a way that everybody wins? So you win, I win, we all win, including Mother Earth. You know, you can do whatever you want without creating karma, as long as there's not a loser. You know, everybody wins. And when you create a loser in a situation, that is an energetic thing, which we can call karma, or we don't have to, that will need to be balanced, right? Okay. And then we got purse. Purse is where you keep the money. So we got wealth over here. We got thievery here. That's purse is something someone steals. So paying bills. Perhaps you're placing your trust somewhere that it doesn't need to be, right? Like can you keep track of, keep your stuff with you. Don't put it on others. Don't blame others. When you're in a situation where there's a thief or where there's bribery going on, take that within yourself to learn where it sits within you. What makes you a match to that? Is that something you're doing to yourself or another? Or is that something that you have done in the past that you're now learning what it's like? You know, something like that. And we got a whole stack of these that just flew out when I was dealing. So you got stillness. This is another way that you're going to get into the flow. Sitting with yourself so you can really hear yourself, hear your thoughts, get a new perspective on all of this, because there is something more to know. Right now it's very cloudy, unclear. There are unknown factors. You know, you're walking through chaos right now. So it's helping you to slow down, and it's hard to get up out of chaos into your flow. And it's also hard to hear what the best advice is for your health when you are in this chaos. Wisdom over knowledge. So instead of going for this, like what other people tell you, it's your own wisdom over knowledge, or maybe it's somebody's wisdom. So they learned this from integrating their own pain. They didn't read it in a book, you know, a textbook or something. Like, this is, wisdom is integrated pain. Wisdom is knowledge that has been learned through living it out. You know, it's a fact. It's something, and it's also something more universal. You know, it's not just like a bias. It's not just like an anchored in trigger. It's nothing like that. Wisdom over knowledge, and the wisdom that you've gained in your lifetime up to this point is what's meant to help you with this. So there may be a part of that you're forgetting. And when you have this conversation or this exchange, it's not going to be that this person is going to be telling you something new. They're going to remind you of something you already know. That's what it is. That's where your answer is. Reminding you of something you already know. Another way to help get your vibration up to where you want it to be, to hear your guidance clearly and remember what you need to remember, is gratitude. So finding even the smallest thing to be grateful for. When I first understood that the concept of gratitude was important in my life, I started small. I started with, I was glad that the sun rose. You know, it's like something you can count on and be grateful for, just anything. And just, you get yourself in a flow by thinking of one thing after another that you can be grateful for, and sit there in a meditation for 25 minutes and just think of things that you can be grateful for. This is a way to bring your vibration up to where you can be in flow. Look at only what's in front of you. If it's in front of someone else, it's not yours. This situation, this challenge that you're facing, it's right in front of you. I just got the feeling someone was stealing from you. Someone was bribing you. Someone was offering something to you that seemed appealing. With good commerce, good fortune, a good fertility. But there's something about it that's just not right. And it's like, maybe it's because it's their path. Maybe it's because it's taking you off the path that you're meant to be on. So what's in front of you to deal with? From your own wisdom. And then fourth house, it's at home, it's at your foundation, it's where you live. This has something to do with your foundation and where you live, your home life. Who you are at the core. So you could also call that who you really are. And this is the essence of the energy through spirit, animal spirit totems that you can utilize to help you through the situation. You got the caribou. Perseverance, resourcefulness, movement, and determination. So these are some of the energies that are going to help you with this. Caribou are very hardy, right? They live in conditions like in Alaska where there's like few resources, so they are resourceful. And they persevere. They don't give up when it's hard. I mean, their whole life, from our perspective, looks hard, right? But they're built for it, and so aren't you. And so persevering and using that determination that you have access to make the moves that you need to, and being resourceful about it. And those will come through the resourcefulness will come through the inspired ideas when you're spending time in stillness and gratitude to get your vibration up into the flow. And then you've got the orange blossom jellyfish. This is interesting. Transparency, sensitivity, surrender, and illumination. So here we've got the moon. Things are not clear. You want things to be clear. That's why you're going to be still, right? When you're still, then the water settles. Like anything in the water settles so you can see more clearly. And this is saying transparency. So we want to see things more clearly, but also, like, we don't want to deal in bribery and thievery. Those are not transparent things. Like, maybe they are transparent, right? But like, if you are being it's something you can see. It's something that is apparent to you. So if you were dabbling in those kind of energies, maybe it's like you need to upgrade yourself to do them in a way that is transparent. Yes, yes, yes. If you're bribing someone, maybe it's like appropriate to say, I want to do this for you so that you might do this for me. Yes. Sorry. That came through very like, that's the higher way to use that energy. Yes, instead of like, I'm taking this from you, I'm taking this from you because you took this from me. I mean, things have to come into balance, and I don't know that that's actually the right way to go about anything, just so you know. But that's what came to mind, and so I said it. These are roads and doorways requiring your choice, though. And you don't want to take them until you're clear. And then we've got sensitivity, so you're feeling into these things from who you are. Surrendering to the things that you can't control. Yeah, and shining a light on things that were in the dark. You know, you really were built for this. All your own experiences have prepared you for what you're going through. Okay? Well, pick 3. Thank you for spending your time with me. I hope this is helpful in some way, and I will see you next time.